pressure low. It's a big grand.
Motherfucker, we're back. We thought we were gone, but we're not. We're back. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how's it going? It's me.
What's the show about, by the way?
I can't remember. Don't know.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you anymore. It once at one time it was a podcast. I think that's what they're called. And we're Irish and we talk about stuff like movies and things.
That's our gimmick. We just stole our ancestry to make any sort of interest by mostly American people, hopefully.
Monetized our... That's a...
But why would you push the Irish? No, because Irish people wouldn't be interested in that.
Interesting that you bring that up.
Okay. Is it what you wanted to talk about in the
it
podcast?
Is.
Yeah,
it
is. Okay.
It is. Because... Okay, well, hi, first of all. Hello, everyone. We're back after a brief absence. That was mostly my fault because of, life was shit and stuff. But we're back, and we're doing this every 2 weeks now because we find that, well, we said because the episodes will be better, okay? But you're not allowed to hold us to that.
Well, no, not on this one. On the next one, technically.
Okay, the next one. Yeah, fine. Yeah, all right. Mm-hmm.
We can do good shit, okay? It's fine.
Yeah, we can. Shut up. It's going to be great. So what we've decided to do is the news is dead. We've killed the news. Long live the news. We're moving that into the top of the main show. Okay, so episodes sometimes maybe will be a little bit longer than normal, but, deal with it.
Skip forward if you want. Doesn't matter.
I don't really care. If you listen for like 15 seconds, I think it counts as a view or a listen.
Yeah, that's all we care about. Like, we just want the numbers, baby. Fuck
that's all I'm in it for. I'm only here to log into our listener metric once,
you just want
once
the
a day
monkey brain inside you go and see numbers going.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm here. It's like people who just try and farm likes on Instagram and stuff. That's all I'm here for.
It's like a step in evolution from I will cultivate and keep everything to the next thing. Actually, maybe community is important. You're just before the next step in evolution, then, man.
I'll never get there. Whatever. I'm all about the fame.
Yes.
The news then for this episode. We're not going to cover everything. Obviously, we can't do that. It's not like you're getting 2 episodes of one, all right? We're just going to pick out some things at the top of the episode.
I have 2 things.
Fun, all right? Yeah. And I have one thing that we had a nice segue for, and then I ruined it by talking about other things.
Yeah,
but
you did.
I don't know if you've seen this, all right? Because it's a massive commotion on Twitter the last couple of days, but I don't know if it's reached outside of Twitter yet. The
Irish
Celtics independent movie series. Have you seen it?
Not even.
Oh my god, I can't wait for you to see this. So, a couple of days ago, this monster of a teaser trailer type thing surfaced on Twitter. The account is called Celtics _film, I think is the username. And what it appears to be is an Irish-American fellow, filmmaker, and his previous work, I think he cites as he made a film series about Siberia. He says it was called Gulags, so I'm assuming it was about Siberia and Russian imperialist history or something. I don't know. And this time, he is trying to crowdfund a film series about Celtic people, the Celts,
which is already a term that's not exactly perfect.
No, so this is right. So it first came to people's attention because he posted this sort of, it's like their Kickstarter campaign, hey, give us money type of video. Okay, so it's him talking. He uses a lot of he opens the video by trying to say, my name is Michael Oscailga. But he pronounces it completely arseways. So instantly, your Irish people are going to go, what the fuck is this shit? It's not how you say that. You know what I mean? Instantly, right? Yeah.
What the fuck
immediately we're all like, what the fuck is this shit? It's not how you say it. Is Misha Mihal? Right, and he goes from there. He just continuously keeps pronouncing things wrong and he keeps using like Irish place names. He calls Sligo Sligo, in a thick like American accent and stuff. And in the middle of it, he just goes like, oh, and we've done our research to like make sure we get everything correct and all this stuff. And he just has random clips then of like these actors, and for our audio people, which is everybody, I'm using air quotes, okay?
Wait,
actors.
are we recording some of this for other people? What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, he calls them actors. I don't know where he got these people from. They're also American. Some of them are trying to do Irish accents. The first woman shows up, like, and they're dressed as like, I guess, Celtic, like Celts. They're dressed as, I don't know, like
the gold bands around the neck, long cloaks, kind of stuff.
Some of them, yeah, they're wearing like, because the first episode or whatever, the first film in the series he wants to make is he's calling Druids, so it's about the Druids of ancient Ireland, and
right.
he does state, he has said in a series of insane tweets that he posted after Irish people went like, this is shit, and then a lot of like big Irish Twitter accounts discovered that he had preemptively blocked them before releasing the trailer. So even the likes of like Gavin, what's his name, and Richard Chambers, you know, the COVID news people. Like they're like news reporters or whatever for Virgin Media, so they're like really popular on Twitter because of their coverage for like COVID and stuff the last like year and a half. But like a couple of those people, he had like blocked them in anticipation of releasing this teaser kind of thing that he knew like, oh, I want people to see this, but I don't want certain people to see it because they'll give out about it or whatever. People went fucking crazy, like ripped it to shreds. And he posted a massive string of tweets and like using all these words that like clearly he was trying to make himself sound like he knew what he was talking about and stuff, and talking about how scientific, like historical archaeological findings actually say that, you know, probably the ancient Celtic people of Ireland came from France and they probably spoke a language called Gaulish and all this kind of shit. And he just kept making it worse, and to the point where like he ended up basically saying, this was my plan all along. When you don't have money for marketing, you purposefully bait people into retweeting your stuff. So you you make them angry so that they talk about you, and therefore you're in people's.
I was making jokes on purpose. Yeah, that's it. We all know that.
Yeah, basically it was, and it's just so. But you have to see this teaser trailer thing, man. It's so bad. It's just
here. Hold
awful.
On. Should I watch it now, and I can come back straight away?
Okay, yeah, we can cut this bit. We can cut this bit out. All right, you go watch it. Okay, Dan has watched it. Movie magic. Well, isn't it just? I mean, it's. I
mean, look. You know what it feels like? It feels like late 80s, early 90s American movies where they tried to like make a movie about Native Americans but cast entirely in white people.
That's what it feels like to us. It's so I don't think either of us can adequately explain how just so wrong and awful it is. So please check it out for yourselves, because it's just...
Please donate to it so it can be made and we can see it.
Yeah, please let him make this movie. Because as much as we shit on it, the whole of Ireland will watch it.
I love that he called it the Celtics.
The Celtics, man, yeah, because he thinks it's like the Boston Celtics, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
County
like I'm trying to say, what do I say? Like, it's the Celts.
Celts,
like that's Celts, not Celtics. Celts. You finish after the T and an S.
Celts,
you know,
or Celtic people.
The Celtic.
Celtics.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. That's what I just wanted to talk about it this week, because
my God,
it's just insane. It's so crazy. Part of me loves it, to be honest. I just love the furore that came with it on Twitter the last couple of days. Has been amazing, to be honest. You see, like when you search it, I think he blocked like Foil Arms and Hog, the comedy group.
They will make a skit about that.
Yeah, like the comedy group from Dublin. He blocked them. So he's obviously like looked at like Irish Twitter or whatever and seen like big accounts and been like, okay, no, I can't let them see it, kind of thing. Like it's just, it's magnifique.
God, he's a gobshite, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an idiot. He's a fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. I hope you block out. Sure, it'll be grand, okay? You better. We are a hub of our culture.
Yeah, I checked. I'll be quite honest. I'm part of my ego went, he better have fucking blocked me.
Did you use the account to give out to them?
I didn't. Did I? No, I don't think I did yet. I'm going to, but I was in. This landed across my table last night, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm still in shock.
Yeah, no, you have to use the Twitter.
Yeah,
take the absolute make up.
I will. There you go.
Oh.
So, what's going on in your world?
There's a big Nintendo Direct that came out there, which was mostly nice. Bayonetta 3 is coming out. A lot of people are delighted for that because that's been in the making for quite some time. But I think probably the thing that came... Look, okay, I'm going to start with the good things. Let's have some nice things. So, the virtual engine, or whatever you want to call it, on the Nintendo Switch that allows you to play like SNES and NES games is expanding with an extra expansion that I think you obviously have to pay extra for. And they're going to include Nintendo 64 and, what was it? Another console, I think Genesis, is coming to the Nintendo Switch as well. Just a few games. I know, weird. I know.
Sega Genesis?
Yeah, Sega Genesis is coming over. Sonic
will
be...
Well, now I'm interested.
Yeah. The Switch is getting it, which is a bit surprising. But yeah, I mean, look, to be honest, I don't think it's the first time Sonic has been on a Nintendo machine.
Probably not.
Like, Sonic doesn't really have a home anymore, does he? He's kind of homeless. He just kind of hangs out with any kind of platform that I have him at this stage.
Yeah.
But look, you know what? On the bright side, I think Sonic will beat Mario in the cinemas, movie-wise, because the casting came out. And look, it's probably late in the game at this stage. I think most people have said what they had to say. But why the... sorry. I just...
I think it looks good.
No, it looks terrible. Don't you do this. Don't play this character, man. Don't do it. Yeah, look, Chris Pratt is Mario. For some reason, they couldn't get the voice actor of Mario, even though he's also in this movie as like a cameo. Charlie Day, we like Charlie Day, Always Sunny.
Sure, he's fine.
Don't hate him as Luigi, but definitely think he's more of a Toad character. Like the little mushroom guys. He goes, talk like this! Like, that's Charlie Day, really, isn't it?
I don't know what Luigi sounds like.
He's just crying a lot of the times.
That could be Charlie Day.
That could be Charlie Day, yeah. And then a woman that you have never said terrible things about how she looks, Anna Taylor-Joy, is playing Princess Peach.
Anya,
okay. Oh, now you take the high ground on that,
I'm defending her now. Well, I like Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah, I think she's a fantastic actress.
Yeah, she can do Princess Peach.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Probably the casting I'm most okay with is Jack Black as Bowser even.
Yeah, I don't know. I think honestly the only one that's kind of like what is Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The rest of them I could be like, yeah, I can see it. Like it's maybe not your first choice or anything. With some of them, like I think Anya Taylor-Joy might be the best one. But Chris Pratt as Mario is just really weird. It's just such a weird choice that they were like why? Yeah.
It's true, but at least we're finally going to get that line in canon now of Salonge Bowser, because Chris Pratt is homophobic.
I don't get this reference.
Okay, in Mario 64, Mario swings Bowser around, and when he lets go, he says what sounds like "So long, gay Bowser." but apparently what it's really meant to be is "So long, King Bowser," but it sounds exactly like "So long, Gay Bowser." So there you go.
I
And
see.
because Chris Pratt, even if he claims to not be homophobic, is gives a lot of money to a church that is, and he's a part of their community.
Yeah, true.
You know,
You don't think the casting of Chris Pratt as Mario is not deeply offensive to Italian people?
I don't think so, because the guy who voiced Mario
Yeah,
wasn't exactly Italian either.
no, he was no, he wasn't even. He didn't even. If he took a 23andMe, there's not even like 0.2%.
Yeah. Give me 1 second there. Just you might know this already, but give me 1 second. Yeah. So Charles Martinet, I'm on this Wikipedia. It doesn't really go into his ancestry, so we won't go too deep there. But do you know who else he voices, except from like Mario and Luigi and like the few of the other ones in the kingdom?
Judge Dredd.
No,
Oh,
but you kind of have a good idea there. Parthenax from Skyrim.
the big dragon.
Yeah, the giant dragon. The dragon was like, "Is it better to what was it? Is it better to choose good or be evil and be able to fight over it?" That's with this, like the voices lads on top of the mountain.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's
yeah.
definitely a mod for Skyrim that replaces the voice of Parthenax with Super Mario voice lines.
Oh, 100%. I'd be shocked. I'd be utterly shocked. I love that you can go to his Wikipedia and the notable work he has is Mario series, The Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. Like he's done, I'm sure, a lot more than that. But yeah, it's a shame. He apparently wanted to do the voice of Mario, but they wouldn't give it to him for the film. But he's appearing as a cameo or something, which
Hey, we got a really fucking funny Donkey video out of the whole ordeal. Though. Have you seen it yet?
Did we?
Yeah, Donkey did a
no,
video on it. It's called like America Reacts to the Mario casting or something, and it's literally him calling like 100 different random stores, being like, "So, did you hear about the Super Mario movie?" It's just fucking brilliant.
You know what? I say one casting that I kind of dig is Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, because I just want Donkey Kong to do the Seth Rogen laugh. You know the laugh. I want to hear that out of Donkey Kong. That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not the only one that's like
No,
shitty
it's really not.
It's Chris Pratt. It's just like, okay.
Purely chosen because he's famous. That's it.
Yep. Which is a massive issue I have with modern
voice acting.
Animated like voice acting castings.
Yeah.
Because they don't cast voice actors, they pluck an actual live action star and go, yeah, he can do it, and it's not the same thing. It just isn't.
Do you know what I've heard? Voice actors like calling people like the other actors face actors, because it's always like voice actors always treat like a secondary actors, which are not. There's so much work goes into voice acting, and you have to be really talented to do it. You have to really practice, and there's a lot of technicalities to it. So I love that they don't even go, oh yeah, the other actors. They literally go, oh yeah, the face actors.
Yeah,
we're the voice actors. They're the face actors. But yeah, I agree 100% with you. You just can't plop someone into it. And look, let's be fair about Chris Pratt. He's had some experience in voice acting. He's been in the Lego movie. But to be fair, he was just voicing Chris Pratt in the Lego movie.
That's the thing about this one. Do you really think Chris Pratt is going to show up to this movie and just go, "It's a me, a Mario"? Like,
I really hope not.
I feel like he's.
I'd hate more if he just talks in his own voice.
I feel like he's just gonna talk like Mario's just gonna have Chris Pratt's voice now. Like it's not.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be trying to do a Mario impression or anything. I don't know.
It's gonna be a generation of kids who think Chris Pratt is Mario.
I don't think too many people are going to see this. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, man. Nintendo's weird.
Do you want to talk about this week's movie?
Yes, the Mario movie we've watched.
We've
Yes.
seen the future. We've watched.
No, I mean the old Mario movie. You know.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh, we should do
Why would
that.
you ruin it on people? We're not
Oh, we
doing
should
that.
definitely do.
I'll
Oh,
tell you
yeah,
what we are doing though. The best Irish movie ever made by nobody Irish.
Yes. This is a fair statement. Yes. Should we actually name the movie?
Yeah, I was getting there. We're doing The Commitments. Woo! Nah, I did a fake woo, but it should be a genuine woo. I'm just tired. It's The Commitments.
Yeah,
It is a literal juggernaut of Irish culture. It's a massive deal in every Irish person's life, I think, to be honest. It's a thing. It was always on. Like most people, except Dan, apparently, had seen it 60 million times.
Yeah. I've watched all the other Irish movies a million times. It's just this one I didn't.
Just The Commitments slipped away. Yeah, I had seen this. This was definitely the 57th time. Like, it was just always on RTE when I was a kid. I remember one time a couple of years ago, RTE showed it for Paddy's Day, and for some reason they showed a 3/4 cropped version. And this was in 2015 or something. It looked really, it was weird because RTE sucks ass. But The Commitments, for anybody who doesn't know, for non-Irish listeners, I suppose, is a musical comedy drama film. It's based on a novel also called Commitments by Mr. Roddy Doyle.
Legend.
Who, we were discussing this whilst watching as well. I don't think either of us have ever actually read any of Roddy Doyle's novels.
No, I should do that.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like, I've always known him as from the movies, and also for the Facebook things that Dan was really into for a while.
Yes,
which he turned into a short story collection, or a couple of short story collections after a while, called 2 Pints. So that's Roddy Doyle. He's a cool dude. The Commitments is directed by Alan Parker. Now, Alan Parker. I wasn't familiar with his name, but looking through his other work, there's a lot of stuff in there that we would know. He directed Fame in 1980, so it was prior to this. That was a big deal. He did a lot of musicals. He did the Bugsy Malone musical in the 70s. He did Pink Floyd's The Wall in the 1980s as well. And he also did Angela's Ashes. Directed that as well, and Mississippi Burning, which is an 80s movie about FBI detectives investigating.
Do you know what's mad? I literally watched that movie a week and a half ago with John, my landlord. Really great movie, fantastic.
Yeah, he's just Alan Parker, same guy who did The Commitments. It's Mississippi Burning, and then he did The Life of David Gale in 2003, which is a movie that I like. It's Kevin Spacey is in it, so.
Who's that again?
Kevin Spacey. So we don't watch it anymore. But I
used to watch it. Just
Yeah, it's about a guy who is a campaigner to abolish capital punishment in the United States, and he ends up being accused of murder and placed on death row. So,
just self-serving there, isn't
you're
it?
classic Greek tragedy of that. But so that's Alan Parker. Yeah, I was interested. Alan Parker passed away just last year, actually. July 2020.
That movie was The Life of David Gale as well, wasn't
it? That's the last thing he directed, I think. And I think he was reading he was sick for a long time. So he sadly passed away last year.
He was a producer on a few things, though.
He was,
Well, he was one thing, even, I should say. Dad's Army, the remake in 2016, which I haven't watched because I didn't care for Dad's Army in the first place.
Same. Yeah. And you might ask, why The Commitments? Why now? Well, that's because on October the 4th of this year, The Commitments turns 30 years old.
Just a bit younger than me and a little bit older than you.
Couple of months older than me, yeah. So, happy birthday to The Commitments.
Third member of the podcast.
Yeah, is Roddy Doyle is The Commitments. He's always here with us in spirit. Happy birthday to him.
Yes.
So The Commitments, essentially in plot, follows the story of a soul band in working class Dublin in the late 80s, early 90s, called The Commitments, and they're sort of rise to some level of fame and then immediate collapse into crap. Basically,
The thing is, Roddy Doyle was just into a band in Dublin, and they just disappeared. And he went, "Fuck it."
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so there you go. There's that's what The Commitments is. Let's move swiftly now into what the hell is going on.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
Now, interestingly, Daniel, this is not the first time you and I have done a podcast about a Roddy Doyle movie.
Is it not?
No, it's not. I had a much short-lived podcast when I was in final year in college.
You're right.
And I had Dan on as a guest, and on that episode, which I think was the first episode of that podcast, there was only like 4 of them, but we did The Snapper, which is the spiritual and I guess sort of literal in some ways sequel to The Commitments. So
fantastic movies, man.
If you guys want to hear that, I'm sure
link them in the comments.
I'm sure I have it somewhere. I can find it for you if you want it.
I'll re-release it on this podcast, rebrand it.
I just edit in our new sound bites into that one and stick it on.
Why not?
It's an episode.
Hold on, we'll cut all this out and we'll have a freebie for next
we'll
2 weeks.
Just have one ready, yeah. So we did The Snapper that time, and that was great crack. And so it's gonna feel weird because some of the stuff I'm gonna say here I probably said on that episode as well in terms of like background and stuff for the movies. So the Commitments is part of what people have dubbed Roddy Doyle's Barrytown trilogy. As I think some people say it's a quadrilogy now because there is a spin-off and he did it later, like another book came out a while ago. But the trilogy, the main 3, I suppose, all came out one after the other. I guess in Roddy Doyle's, what do you call a discography for books? Literography?
A bibliography?
Bibliography, sure, that's the one. Sorry, could not think of that word. The Commitments was first. The novel came out in 1987, 88, I think. And then came The Snapper, and then came The Van. And all of them are about the Rabbit family, a family from Dublin. In The Commitments, the
North Dublin, for people who understand
North
that.
side, inner city, like working class Dublin, as all of Roddy Doyle's work tends to be for the most part. The Rabbit family. So in The Commitments, in this movie, it's we see Colin Meaney's Jimmy Rabbit Senior, who is an like Elvis obsessed, typical old fella kind of guy, and his son. Jimmy Rabbit Jr., who is the manager of The Commitments. The Snapper then is about Jimmy's little younger sister Sharon, who, for the fans of The Snapper, will know that it's about her unwed, unwanted pregnancy and how that affects the family. And then The Van, after that, is about Jimmy Rabbit Sr., also played by Colin Meaney in the movie of The Van. So he's in all 3 as the same guy. And The Van is about Jimmy Rabbit Sr. like trying to set up a new business after he loses his job and stuff like that. The Van is probably the least...
Didn't realize he worked in the movie watched just now.
I guess he gets a job like between them. He has a job in The Snapper, I think, and then he loses it for The Van. I don't know. Who knows, really? That's what I mean by they're not like... It's never explicitly like this is a follow-up, because in The Commitments, Sharon Rabbit, the main... character, I suppose, of The Snapper. In The Commitments, she's like 10 years old. In The Snapper, she's like 17, 18, 19 sort of thing. Like, so, but they're never, it's not like it's clear that a decade has passed between these 2 movies. Like, they're essentially set at the same time. So it's, it's a loose sort of like sequel thing, but it is the same family, apparently. So that's that's the Barrytown trilogy. The one that came out then, the spin-off was called Paddy Clark Ha Ha Ha, and I think it was like a kid's book that Roddy Doyle did, and it's about a kid called Paddy Clark who lives in Barrytown in Dublin, and he's kind of just wandering around Barrytown, and he runs into different characters from the other books. So he meets like Jimmy Rabbit and stuff. And then The Guts is...
That's all kids want,
That's it, So Roddy Doyle invented this sort of like everything connected cinematic sinew type thing, I think, with his Barrytown quadrilogy. And then The Guts came out in...
Game of that one.
Oh, it's going to be insane. All the rabbits together in one place. The Guts then came out in 2013, and that is actually set 30 years after the other books. And it's about Jimmy Rabbit Jr. when he's older, and he is dying of cancer. Yeah. You know, typical cheery Roddy Doyle stuff.
Answer from The Commitments.
The guy from The Commitments, the manager in The Commitments, yeah, is the main character of The Guts when he's older and he has cancer. And that's what the book is about.
And does Colin Meaney just come in shouting about Elvis Presley or something?
I don't know, and I'm not even sure. He might have passed by the time of The Guts.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah. So what do we think of, as somebody who had not seen The Commitments until watching it this time around, where do you place it in rankings of, I suppose, the Barrytown movies? Is it better than or worse than The Snapper? Or in general in terms of like Irish... I say Irish films because it is written by an Irishman. It's clearly about...
Let's be real. All the best Irish stuff is manufactured by like other countries.
Yeah, that's what, because RD is fucking a bit just terrible. Yeah. They couldn't get they passed on Father Ted. They turned down Derry Girls. Like, anyway.
Oh, Derry Girls is so good. Everyone, if you have any interest in Ireland or Irish yourself, just watch it. It's such a good show. Yeah, I watched it like in a day.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, where would you place The Commitments on this?
Honestly, fairly high. It's authentic as fuck to Irish culture. Like, I think the only thing that's different between their experience and our experience of life is like we have a slightly better infrastructure because we played the unemployment game. We've played with the whole people shouting at each other and giving out about each other game.
Slightly, yeah, and also slightly worse infrastructure.
In some ways, like, yeah.
We have less trains.
Yeah, we have less trains, yeah. We
have less public transport, more cars.
And we don't really have, I mean, I suppose they have plenty of gigs in Dublin, but like that whole idea of the dance hall and gigs being on all over the place, that's kind of shrunken down to more city life kind of things, whereas before it was kind of more broad.
Yeah, I suppose even from when we were younger, there's not like dances or like discos and stuff and shit on anymore that I'm aware of.
Like you'd have, like,
I'm not into the teen disco scene these days.
I hope you're not. Jesus. I'd agree with you. It's just not there, is it?
No, but it's there in The Commitments. I'll tell you that much.
It is there in The Commitments, yeah.
And The Commitments, I don't know. It's so interesting to me. I was very like kind of almost like wowed to find out that this wasn't directed by an Irishman. Like Alan Parker is English. He's not Irish. He's not like, it's not even like.
Where is he from England? Actually, that was
from London.
Okay, so he's not even Northern English.
He's born and raised in London, as far as I'm aware.
Hey, look, he got it.
That's what I mean. It's interesting that, like, now in fairness, every word said in the movie is is Roddy Doyle. Like, it's not like, I think Alan Parker had a hell of a lot to do with the musical aspect of the movie. I know that, like, in casting the roles, in particular for the band members of The Commitments, he held music auditions first, and they cast people as if they were putting together an actual band, and didn't then once he had picked them for their musical talent, then gave them like a piece of the film to read to see if they could act as well. So all of the members of The Commitments in the film are actual musicians and can actually play, and he needed them all to be actually very good at music so that they could pretend to be bad at it at the start of the movie and like gradually get better and stuff. So all of that kind of shit, and you can tell in it, like, in fairness, The Commitments are a class band.
They are, yeah.
They're really talented, like, your man.
And they understood show business as well, where you'd have the biggest rows backstage, and then they come onto the stage and they're all like smiling and
yeah. By the end, it's like they had learned the game kind of thing. Initially, they weren't. They were all like fighting on stage and shit, and that bassist almost blew up. The bassist, by the way, plays his guitar upside down.
Huh.
He's left-handed, but he plays a right-handed bass guitar, but he plays it upside down, so the strings are upside down and stuff.
All right, fair enough.
There you go. And the guy who plays the piano was not an actor. He worked for Dublin City Council, and he took 3 months off to make the movie.
Did a fair job.
He's the only one. He's the only member of the Commitments from the South Side.
Yeah, I mean that was that. Yeah,
yeah. They make fun of him for that. They make fun of him for that in the movie, like because he's like a doctor and stuff like that, and he's just like pissing about basically. Glenn Hansard is in this as well, who plays I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He's a weird name. It's like Outsand or some fucking shit.
Outspan Foster.
Outspan. That's it. I knew it was out something. Yeah, he Glenn Hansard apparently hated every second of it. And it took him, he didn't watch the movie for like 20 years because he had a big row with Alan Parker early on in filming, and they just hated each other and he didn't like the whole thing. So he never watched, he like didn't even watch the movie after it came out.
It's a shame.
Yeah, he watched it afterwards, I'm sure. It's not like, he's Glenn Hansard. He was fine. Like, he's a fucking piece of shit, but he was fine afterwards. But so, like, and the Commitments was, like, it wasn't like this was just popular in Ireland either. It was a pretty did decently well, even like it opened internationally in America. Like this was distributed by Fox, like 20th Century Fox distributed this. It was produced by a production company called Beacon Pictures, and The Commitments was their first movie. And I'll give you €50 if you can tell me their other two like biggest movies, maybe three.
The Van.
No.
Okay, I lost it. There you go, folks.
I mean, they did do The Van, I think, the movie.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, the big ones.
I mean, I don't know, man. How would I guess that? Andrews Ashes?
No. Well, one of them was Children of Men.
Oh. Pressing.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose the same sort of color,
The Children of Men. They also produced The Hurricane. Remember the boxing movie about Reuben the Hurricane Carter? Denzel Washington. It's based on a true story. It's about a boxer who's gets like put in prison for like wrongly accused of murder. It's a really good movie from like the 90s. I thought you'd seen it because you were into boxing and stuff when we were younger.
Yeah, still kind of into boxing.
Well, yeah, but it's a good movie. The Hurricane, great, and Bob Dylan wrote a song about him. Here comes the story of the hurricane. Great song. Anyway, that he's Children of Men, The Hurricane, and then they did the Bring It On series, which is about cheerleaders doing cheerleader stuff. Iconic 90s fare.
Jumping around,
just being cheerleaders, being cheery, but they're not cheery in the Bring It On series. They're all bitches.
Yeah, but then when they go on stage, they're all like really professionals.
Just like The Commitments.
Oh, we found their film production links.
That's it. It's all tied together. It all starts and ends with The Commitments. Also, I don't remember this ever being said in the movie, but the three girls in The Commitments are called the Commitmentettes.
It wasn't.
I don't think that ever. I've seen it. All my research, reading shit about this, it comes up everywhere. They're always referred to as the Commitmentettes. And I don't think they were ever called that in the movie. Maybe this is something they made up for. So like after this, and in a couple of times, I think like for the 20th anniversary, the full cast got back together and played some concerts all over Ireland as the Commitments and stuff. Or maybe they made it up for this. They did a musical, like a stage musical. I don't know. Maybe it's in the book. I have no idea. I don't think it's said in the movie that the three girls are Imelda, Bernie, and the other one are ever called the Commitmentettes. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, there was there actually was, lads. You're looking at the Commitmentettes. I'm looking at the script and I just searched it and it does get mentioned, yes. It also, right after it, got the Commitmentits.
Commitmentits?
That's just right after the ets.
Commitmentits?
Okay.
I don't know.
So it gets mentioned there.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
It gets mentioned once. Literally once where they're coming up with names, I think.
Well, thank you for immediately making me look like an idiot.
It's all right, man. It only took me 2 seconds,
That's fine. Yeah. I could have done. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's just, you know, all you have to
So
do is, like,
the term "the commitment dates" is only used once in the
all
whole
you have to do
movie.
is, all you have to do is that, you know.
Okay, hey, you want some trivia? You want some fun
I
trivia?
do want
This is my trivia stuff. Okay,
I'm looking at IMDb just to make sure you didn't just use that at.
that's obviously what I'm using. What else am I going to fucking
All right,
use? for
cool.
the
Sorry.
commitments?
Oh, yeah. I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Christ!
Yeah,
You want me to read it word by word? The kid on the skateboard. The guy. So there's a scene when Jimmy Rabbit's holding auditions. The kid on the skateboard is the kid from the cover of U2's first 2 albums, and he was a professional
And you two
skateboarder.
was mentioned in it as well.
Yes, there a couple of times they're told, well, they're now fucking you too.
Yeah, I guess people still liked YouTube back then.
In
if you
the,
ask
yeah,
somebody,
in the early 90s, late 80s, they were fucking like.
because if you ask someone now, like if you ask a lot of Irish people now, if you mentioned, oh yeah, they're as good as you too, they go, what the fuck are you on about? You two shite.
I know. I don't think. I
Oh,
think
they
most
do,
people still like you too. It's just that nobody likes Bono. It's
I
just
don't
like,
know
oh,
about that.
fucking Bono's a fucking dickhead, man. Oh, the age, man. He's not even able to play that joke. Do you know?
Yeah, I always wave to Bono when I go past Dalkey.
What?
You know,
Oh,
he has a place there apparently.
he can't fucking see you waving because his head's up his own arse.
Well, it's a good thing it's on a cliff.
Yo, what? I was thinking earlier I was going to do the whole fucking show.
Oh,
with this
I'm
halfway.
really glad you didn't. Holy God.
Next bit of trivia. The Corrs are in this movie. All of them. Every single member of the band, the Corrs. Yep.
Oh,
There you go.
where?
All right, well, I'll tell you, Dan. And Andrea Corr, the lead singer of the Corrs, plays the young Sharon Rabbit, Jimmy's little sister. Now, the Corrs all
Twins?
auditioned. No, not the twins, the other one.
I remember the twins in the other movie, the Snapper. Like, do you remember the twins in the Snapper?
No.
No. What happened to the twins?
Maybe they grew up and left home.
I
don't
mean, they
know.
could have. Yeah.
Sharon is older. Maybe they're probably, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, imagine all of them have grown.
Sharon is older, but the twins are the same age.
on the
Yeah.
table, like.
But yeah, so the Corrs all auditioned for parts in the Commitments. And what Alan Parker did essentially was that anybody who auditioned and didn't get a role in the band, but was still like he gave them like little small parts in the movie. So all the Corrs, Andrea plays Jimmy's little sister Sharon, Jim Corr, that's what I think of Jim Corr. He
Was that the guy who's tinfoil hatty?
Yeah.
Rob Scheid?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
He is a member of one of the other bands that you see playing in the Commitments. So there's a couple of them. He's in one of them playing fucking music or whatever. Caroline Corr is in the audience during when the Commitment Deaths are singing. I never loved a man. And finally, Sharon, the violinist. You can see her playing the violin, her famous violin, at the end of the movie when after the Commitments have broken up and you know Bernie joins like a country western band at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's the woman playing the violin in that little scene is Sharon Corr.
Oh.
There you go, all of the Corrs. Quentin Tarantino was a big fan of this movie.
Oh, okay.
He really, really liked the Commitments so much
Some feet, something.
So when he liked it so much that Brona Gallagher, who plays Bernie in The Commitments, the reason she's in Pulp Fiction, and Quentin Tarantino gave her the part in Pulp Fiction because he loved The Commitments.
Oh,
He was like, "Yeah,
it's a good movie.
come
It's
be
good
in my
taste.
movie." No,
Yeah.
he. I think he's probably like he is a serial killer who just found a different outlet. To be honest,
Yeah.
he's a weird man. There you go.
Yeah.
Those are my those are my wonderful trivia bits about the Commitments. I hope you all enjoyed them. Thanks, IMDb, for sponsoring this podcast.
They are not sponsored our podcast just for legal reasons.
I wish they would.
Yeah.
IMDb, give me some money. I'll do
they
more
sponsor
trivia. I don't. Probably not. They probably have their own podcast. I'd imagine they have plenty of them.
Today we go for the
But
first
do-
100 1924's French horror movies.
I wonder if there's a
100.
podcast that's pretty big where it's literally two guys watching like every single movie on the IMDb top 250 list, like in order. I wonder if they sponsor them.
Maybe they can sponsor us.
They should.
The podcast.
The other podcasts and sponsor us. Yeah. We'll
Hey, any podcasters out there want to sponsor us? Go for it.
Well, IMDb. If you want to sponsor me, I will. I'll make our whole show just me reading the full IMDb trivia pages. I should turn that into a podcast. I'll do it. I don't care. Pay me.
Yeah.
Pay me, bitch.
Top of the
It would be cool to actually work with a podcast, just to say that'd be a delight, and I'd love to, swap people around. You do podcasts or not?
Swap people around.
Yeah, get rid of you.
We want to start a swingers club for podcasts members.
Yeah. But all the sex has to be over the internet through audio only.
Oh no, I'm not into ASMR. Hey, let's do our Jesus moment.
Jesus.
Do you want to go first or will I go first?
Go first. I mean, it's going to be a weird small Jesus moment because what's that thing about in film where you put a gun visibly to everyone and then someone mentions the gun and then they use the gun?
Chekhov's gun.
That's the one. Yeah. Remember when he was auditioning and the people coming to his door the whole time?
Yes.
And at one stage, a young lad comes to the door where he's in the bath. Right?
It's the kid from the U2 album.
Yeah, okay, it's the kid from the U2 album. Fair enough. I'm not even sure which U2 album you mean, but cool.
Their first two, the big ones in the A's.
Okay, cool. And, he goes like, oh, sing in front of us there. And he goes, no, I can't do it in front of everyone. It's like, well, then you can't do it. Oh, okay. And he skates off. I was like, something's going to happen there. They did not do this for no reason whatsoever. And they did do it for no reason.
They did it. They did it because he's the kid from the U2 album.
I don't think that's. No.
They definitely did. No, I think they did, man. I think they expected people to recognize him or something. I don't know. Even though he was a bit older.
But I don't get it because what's the fucking draw here? It's just like, the kid that actually has nothing to do with music. He was just on the cover of it. Can't sing in front of people.
What if he was actually a really good singer?
So I was expecting he came back,
like
someone gets kicked out of the band and he has to take over and it's like, oh shit, this kid's great, but he just has to be blindfolded or some shit.
Could have done it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was going to be the sequel. Right, they were going to make a sequel?
Just sponsor a podcast, right, Doyle?
Yeah. Do you know they were going to make a sequel to this?
Were they?
Yep. Guess who was going to make it?
You go on.
Harvey Weinstein.
He
bought the rights to it. And he wanted to produce a sequel to The Commitments, whereby the band got back together and did a tour of America.
Dead now, or
is he dead now?
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein?
I don't know.
He's still in prison.
I lost track of what's
no. He's in prison and he's trying to get away with all of his crimes by saying that his health is really bad and he's going to die if they put him in prison.
Like the Walker thing and all that kind of stuff that he suddenly needed on the day of the trial, whereas before he's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's still doing that thing, I think.
Yeah, he's a complete monster and a scumbag.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, cool.
So good that didn't. Commitments 2 never happened with him. My Jesus moment is a bit of a behind the curtain look at how things work here.
Are you doing an English accent?
I have no idea. So the Jesus moment came from this movie.
Just the movie in general.
The Jesus moment, not like the concept of the Jesus moment, but the sound, the audio clip that I used to create the clip from is Colm Meaney saying Jesus in The Commitments when he's talking to the Joey DeLips Fagin, played by the late Johnny Murphy, and he's asking him about Elvis, and he says, "Listen, did you ever, when you were in Graceland, did you ever see Elvis like?" Did you ever see Elvis?
Never once, brother.
Jesus. That's the bit. That's the Jesus I chose. I listened to hundreds of Colin Meaney saying Jesus in different ways, and I thought that was the best, my favorite one. So I used that.
Like I've said this before. I'd love if they made a statue of him in Dublin, but like from his as his character from Star Trek. I'd love if they have a detector in front of it every time someone was past. It's just like, Jesus. When you walk past like a million times, just listen to him say Jesus.
Jesus. Yeah, if and it has to say it a different way every time.
Yeah, like it's a different clip.
Different inflection.
Here, Dublin City Council, just sponsor the podcast and we'll do that audio thing for you.
We really need a sponsor, people. Okay. No, I don't want Dublin City Council sponsor.
No, don't listen. No, we will take any money.
Fucking pieces of shit. No, I'm turning down their money. They don't have it.
It's fun.
I'm sorry, Dan. They're don't have any money. They're funneling it all into whitewater rafting for the city. It's very important that Dublin has that.
Jesus.
Well, there you go. That was my Jesus moment.
Whitewater rafting, sponsor our podcast.
Because I had forgotten about it. I forgot where the Jesus came from. And then we were watching and went, oh yeah, there it is. There's that thing that I hear every week that I used to make our sound bite thing. Yeah. So let's do some final thoughts on the commitments. That's the wrong button, Owen.
Yes, Mr. Frodo. It's over now.
Right, so yeah, The Commitments. Best Irish movie ever?
No.
No? Do you want to elaborate?
I think I prefer like The Snapper or Angela's Ashes and all these movies. I would prefer them, but like it's a really good Irish movie. Yeah,
what about War of the Buttons?
Haven't watched that in years. Don't even know if I could tell you.
I love War of the Buttons. I think The Commitments is fucking Hall of Fame shit. Like,
it is.
Commitments
is. It's not the best.
It's hard to I don't know. It's hard to go against. It's The Commitments or The Snapper. I think are definitely the most iconic Irish films. Like for Irish people, definitely. I don't know, best. I mean, like The Wind Shakes the Barley and stuff like that are probably better films. But like,
what about Breakfast of Pluto?
Well, it was filmed in our hometown, Dan. So
it was indeed. It was. Yes.
that makes it number one. There's plenty.
Indeed, there are plenty. I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest. We don't get that many movies in Ireland about Ireland, so it's always nice to get anything.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of Irish films.
Yeah, but they don't come out that often. They really don't.
They don't get big, wide releases that often. Yeah. But there's plenty. There's one in the cinemas right now that's very good. It's called Herself.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'm always like, it's every 3 or 4 years something Irish will come out that's like good and other countries like to watch as well.
I don't know if that's a fair comment. Like the fact, like there's really, really good Irish movies being made all the time.
Right.
Like whether or not they don't often get the wide release or distribution support that they deserve in this country. And if they're not getting it here, they don't get it elsewhere. If they're made here, they don't often leave the island unless they're like there are, I would agree, every 3 or 4 years there's something like exceptional that's just so good it can't not be well received everywhere. It'll something immense will have a great festival run and be seen by a lot of people. I think Brooklyn maybe was the last one that was like massive. But there's I don't know. It's just
saying this that there isn't the talent, but at least my view, it's usually about 3 or 4 years. There's something like, oh wow, this is good. And it's always nice to see it.
Yeah, that's true. It is always nice to see it. I'd agree with you on that. Yeah. Look, The Commitments though is, if there is ever like, if Ireland ever sent something like the Voyager spacecraft type thing into space, or whatever the fuck. Do you remember? Was it Voyager that had like iconic pieces of music and film and stuff attached to it on that little golden plaque? Or was that a different one?
Really?
If it was Voyager, whatever. If Ireland ever manages to put together a space program and do that, or if the European Space Agency are like, we need a piece of media from every country to send into space, I think we should send them the commitments. To be honest, I think it's that like.
You know what, man? Though that's a Star Trek episode there, right? Because we'd send it off, and then 300 years, like. Picard is going through a galaxy, and it turns out like one planet received it and built their entire culture around the commitments.
And Colin Meaney hears his own voice
in
a recording, and it's this whole like, oh my god, what is happening here?
But like, that's happened before in Star Trek, where it's just like, I think like some mob, like a book of mob stories, ended up on a planet. And the entire planet is so good at like incorporating culture, they just turn into a mobster planet. You know,
was it Ally McBeal in Futurama that the aliens, was it Futurama, the aliens, or was it the Simpsons? The aliens invaded because they were watching Ally McBeal and they couldn't get the last episode or something. Their signal cut out before they got the last episode broadcast.
That was Futurama,
Futurama, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's that, but Ireland gets invaded because they want a copy of the commitments, and you can't get them anywhere because physical media doesn't exist anymore, and the commitments is on like one tiny streaming service somewhere.
So the entirety of Dublin, North Dublin, has to recreate the commitments from scratch.
And I think the country could do it. That's the thing. Yeah. It's that much ingrained in us. I think if you sat at like 10 random Irish people down and said, all right, I want you to bring me through the commitments, scene by scene, word by word, I think we could do it. I think we'd pull it together, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
If you have any sort of interest and wanting to understand how the Irish brain works, you could do far more wrong by watching this movie. Like this movie will teach you everything there is about the Irish soul, really. Haha, soul music, soul. But you know what I mean? Like it's quintessentially Irish.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's.
Is there anything you don't like about it?
No.
I'm only doing this because somebody told me they'd give out to me if I said I didn't like something about the commitments.
No.
And I tell you what I don't like about the commitments.
I mean, the only thing that popped up in my head was the older fella sleeping with the girl. But then it's like, no, they all had great fun. Fair play to them.
They were all of age. The one thing that I think annoys me slightly is the Wilson Pickett thing. And I don't mean the whole like Joey is like bullshitting them, or maybe he's not, kind of thing. It's the bit where Jimmy actually like almost meets Wilson Pickett, and he finds out that like Joey wasn't lying. Like the limo goes past and it's like Wilson Pickett was just late or whatever. I don't think it's needed. I don't think it's like an answer that like it makes the fact that the band broke up worse almost. It's like,
I think what they tried to do was make him appear as almost this ethereal being that came to them and it's just like guiding them almost. It's almost meant to be almost like a spiritual side to him, like in general.
Yeah, but I think it's almost better.
I don't think they wanted to tarnish him in that way.
No, I don't think that's not what they intended with the thing. It's just that the character of Joey the Lips as this sort of like cosmic soul entity that turned up to like, you know, gift music to the commitments and, you know, all this like I was sent by God and all this kind of shit, like works better if Wilson Pickett doesn't turn up at the end. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it works. I understand why they did it.
The commitments, yeah. I'd say we're fully committed to it.
Yes.
What are we doing next?
A silent voice.
Jesus, this is an audio platform, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit weird. We can't talk about it, you know. But yes, we're doing a silent voice in 2 weeks. So that'll be on the 12th of October for you. and we're looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll have some stuff on social media. Again, people, if you have any recommendations, send them in. Communicate. We're here. Like, subscribe, all the social media. Share us with friends. We found that's honestly the best way it spreads. When people start sharing it, that does a great deal for us. But yeah, that's it from us for now. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Farewell and happy 30th birthday to the Commitments.
Bye-bye.
Asherlo. It's a big rant.